I'd been skeptical for much of my journey, but no doubt remained. Things were progressing exactly as the Red Sorcerer had described. If the prophecy held true, Magusar and I were damned to slay one another for all eternity. How many times have I felt this ache in my heart? If the prophecy is true, the world will repeat. Grimm's eternal recursion. What number am I? Had I not met Red, I'd have lived out my days without ever knowing, without ever doubting. Who can say what ignominious ends my prior lives had met? What good does knowing the true nature of the world do a man who cannot change it? Had I the means to break free of this fate of death and murder? As I made my way to poor, mad Magusar's side, I noticed it. His fearsome aura had suddenly disappeared. Instead, I saw a familiar sorcerer sitting on a rock.
Well, this is a coincidence.
The 13th Persepius. Why had Avalon's master come to such a place? Every corner of the land bore the scars of Magusar's rampage. The world's end drew near, true to Grimm's prediction. Avalon, Sanctuarium, Grimm. It was a summit of all three leaders. Grimm's hierarch, Terwin, had proffered a scheme, a way to disrupt the endless cycle.
A blasphemy against the whole of human history.
Persepius had refused, but the agents of Grimm advanced their plan just the same. However, their plan required the Ars Magica. The memory of Persepius. In order to get it, they would need to sacrifice him. The Order of Grimm aimed to stop time for all the world. If the world never reached its end, the painful cycle could go no further. Terwin had explained her plan to them in full. A familiar tool would play a vital function. The apple shades Red kept. The illusions they bring about are unique. I can say from experience, the feeling is akin to dreaming. Furthermore, she claims they interlink the minds of those under this spell. Years can pass within these dreams in the span of a few of the waking world's hours. Evacuate all of humanity into this state, and the specter of the end is banished. Just one problem remained: how to make the illusion span the globe. The Order sought the answer in the pages of the Ars Magica. An amplifier for illusions. Persapius himself confirmed that such a method did exist. Yet his next words were resolute.
Fleeing into illusion means the defeat of mankind.
The monster regained human form, a familiar one at that. It was the third Red Hood, Semilia. What was happening? She seemed unreal somehow, and I felt dizzy looking at her.
Please, think. This is...
With that, the red sorcerer vanished into smoke. Was it just an illusion? It seemed the stuff of dreams. As I looked around, I saw it. There, where Semilia had stood, was a fragmented apple. No. Why would she leave such a message? What had she hoped to say? The apple shades had already been used. Grimm's plan was now in action. I stood in a world of illusion. The unending dream the Order sought to make. It must have happened as I made my way to face Magusa. Persapius sat stock still, holding his head and mumbling to himself. The souls of the dead inhabit this illusory world too, provided they dwell in living flesh. Persapius remembered.
You know, I'm already dead. I was killed.
It happened just before this illusion consumed us. He rose against Magusa, bringer of the world's end, but failed and paid the price. Terwin then swept in and sacrificed the old man. He was just a soul now, bound to her right arm.
I cannot remember anything new.
No, not even his own death. And so the Ars Magica passed to Grimm, and they took action. The world around me was illusion. As soon as I realized, I found myself surrounded. I heard her voice in my head.
It wasn't meant to be this way.
Was it Semilia? The illusion links the minds of those it swallows. Semilia's voice rang out inside me.
The apple shades. They were never meant for this.
It was a black rite they'd used, ancient and powerful. It extended the apple shade's reach across the entire world. In this new world bereft of gods, Terwin tried to become one. Persapius's voice was fading fast.
May the words I've been entrusted reach as many ears as possible.
He said it was his mission. As a man who'd given up his life to serve as a vessel of memory.
I fear I can do naught but leave all this to you.
He meant to entrust his memories to my own right arm. To offer up the fragment of his soul that remained as sacrifice.
No matter how dire the memory, it can still be passed on. Let it, in time, become new hope.
His final words seemed almost like a prayer. The collective memory passed down to each Persapius is vast. It spans far more than magic. It represents the whole of human knowledge. And what the old man strove to pass on was more than knowledge alone. I need only raise my right arm to listen to his voice within to know that.
The world is unfair at its core. To mankind, history reads as a series of cruel barbs. Death, the worst of them all. However, it is precisely because of our mortality that we endeavor to leave some form of legacy behind. For most, that legacy is children. As copies of ourselves, they take a piece of us onward to eternity. The office of Persapius, too, is charged with leaving a legacy. Delivering the wealth of human knowledge to those yet to come. When this cruel world beats you down, turn and look behind you. See the long, unbroken chain of history protected by these men. See that we frail humans have fought tooth and nail to survive this crucible. At times, that trail can stoke the fire of courage in those who come after. The memories of all those with the name of Persapius are more than just a history. They are hope. Taking in this stream of unbroken experience allows a man to see certain things. For each time mankind has cursed the world, we've loved it twice as much in return. That is why we cling to life, living between the earth and sky, why we fight to the end. To gorge ourselves on an easy life of endless dreams is to forget our animal nature. The measure of a human life is not counted in years, it's in what we leave behind in death. We're the same as beasts, desperate to leave offspring. Be it a child, an act, a single word. Some proof, once our days have ended, that we were here. Some trail. For the trail of one man's life is another's beacon of hope. Let hope remain after each of us has left, to survive beyond. And as long as it endures, man's history